Welcome to Botany Talks. This class is an introduction on prokaryotic translation. We know translation is the process of protein synthesis. It occurs in cytoplasm of all living cells. Every organism needs proteins for the proper functioning. Therefore, protein synthesis is a very essential life process. Let me introduce the term central dogma in the beginning. What is meant by central dogma? It is the flow of genetic information from DNA to proteins. DNA is the actual carriers of genetic information. In the first step, from the DNA, the genetic information is passed to RNA molecules, and from RNA molecules, it is passed to protein molecules. Therefore, gene expression is a two-step process. The first step of gene expression is called transcription and the second step is called translation. First step, transcription, is necessary for the second step. Without transcription, translation will not occur. In transcription, three types of RNA molecules are produced from DNA, and then these RNA molecules are utilized for the synthesis of proteins. What are the building units of proteins? Proteins are made up of amino acids. There are 20 essential and non-essential amino acids which are required for protein synthesis. These amino acids are joined together to form polypeptides, and polypeptides organize to form a protein molecule. In a protein molecule, we can see a single peptide or more than one polypeptide. Therefore, protein synthesis begins with the synthesis of polypeptides. These polypeptides are formed from amino acids. Amino acids are linked together in a bond called peptide bond. Peptide bond is formed by the interaction between two amino acids. In an amino acid, we can see two groups. One is called carboxyl group and the other is called amino group. The amino group of one amino acid interacts with carboxyl group of another amino acid to form a peptide bond. In this reaction, hydroxyl group of the carboxyl component and hydrogen from the amino group interact together and release one molecule of water. This results in the formation of a bond, CONH bond, and this bond is called a peptide bond. With the help of this peptide bond, all amino acids are linked together in a polypeptide. In the second component that are required for protein synthesis is RNA molecules. This picture shows the structure of an mRNA molecule. These are the actual carriers of information. Based on the information present in this mRNA molecule, a protein molecule is synthesized. In an mRNA molecule, nucleotides are arranged in a sequence, and each three nucleotide we call it as a codon. These codons code for amino acids. These amino acids are then utilized for protein synthesis. Therefore, mRNA is very essential component for protein synthesis. It stores information for protein synthesis. The second component is the ribosomes. Ribosomes contain many RNA molecules and protein molecules. Half of the ribosome is composed of rRNA molecules and the remaining half is composed of proteins. rRNA molecules in prokaryotes are of three types: 5S rRNA, 16S rRNA and 23S rRNA. These rRNA are synthesized from genes which are located adjacent to each other. 16S rRNA, 23S rRNA, 5S rRNA. This is the sequence of genes present in DNA. During transcription, these genes undergo transcription process and produce a pre-RNA transcript. And this pre-rRNA transcript is of 30S type. Then this 30S pre-rRNA gene RNA transcript undergoes splicing and produces 3 different rRNA molecules, that is 16S rRNA, 23S rRNA and 5S rRNA, and these rRNAs are then packed to the ribosome molecule. In prokaryotes, there are 2 subunits in ribosomes. In all organisms, ribosomes are composed of 2 subunits. In prokaryotes, the subunits are of the size 50S and 30S. 30S is the smaller subunit and 50S is the larger subunit. The 30S subunit of prokaryotic ribosome contains 16S rRNA. In addition to the 16S rRNA, there are 21 different types of proteins present. Then, in the 50S subunit of prokaryotic ribosomes, we can see 5S rRNA and 23S rRNA. Along with these 2 rRNAs, 31 different types of polypeptides are also present in 50S subunit of prokaryotic ribosomes. Therefore, prokaryotic ribosomes are composed of 2 subunits, a smaller subunit of 30S and larger subunit of 50S. Together, we call it as a 70S type of ribosomes. We know that S stands for Swedberg unit, that is sedimentation coefficient of these ribosomal subunits. Next, we are moving to the next RNA component. This is the tRNA molecules. These molecules act as adapter molecules in protein synthesis. They bring the amino acids for protein synthesis based on the codons present in mRNA. Therefore, they are called adapter molecules. The genes for tRNA are also located near to the rRNA genes. They undergo transcription process. Here you can see the presence of 2 tRNA genes. One is after 16S rRNA and another is after 5S rRNA. These tRNA genes undergo transcription and produces a primary transcript, and these transcript then undergo splicing and produces the mature tRNA. This mature tRNA is having a peculiar structure, and this is clover leaf structure of tRNA molecules. This structure is having specific role in protein synthesis. Therefore, tRNA molecules function to bring amino acids for protein synthesis. There are different sites in ribosomes. This is the ribosomal assembly. The lower one is the 30S subunit and the upper one is the 50S subunit. The 50S subunit of ribosome is having 3 tRNA binding sites. That binding sites are denoted as A site, P site and E site. A site stands for amino acyl site and P site stands for peptidyl site and E site stands for exit site. During protein synthesis, the first tRNA molecule attaches to the P site, but from the next step onwards, every new tRNA molecule will attach to the A site of the ribosome. From there, it moves to P site and then to E site and exit ribosomes. The ribosomes provide tRNA molecules the attachment sites. There are 3 different attachment sites in ribosomes named as A site, P site and E site. Therefore, tRNA molecules can specifically bind to the these sites and can read the codons present in mRNA, and based on that it can give the proper amino acid for protein synthesis. The attachment of this amino acid to tRNA molecule is called tRNA charging. By this process, the tRNA can bind to an amino acid molecule. This is achieved with the help of an enzyme that is called amino acyl tRNA synthetase enzyme. Amino acyl tRNA synthetase enzyme helps tRNA charging process through 2 different steps. In the first step, this enzyme catalyzes the attachment of ATP with amino acids. This attachment results in the formation of amino acid AMP complex. Amino acid AMP complex. Therefore, 2 phosphate molecules are released. Then in the next step, this amino acid AMP complex will bind with tRNA molecule. There is a hydroxyl group present in the tRNA molecule at the 3' end, and at this site, this amino acyl tRNA synthetase enzyme will add new amino acid molecule to the tRNA, and this process is called tRNA charging, and tRNA charging results in the formation of amino acyl tRNA. Amino acyl tRNA is required for protein synthesis. There are different codons present in mRNA. By using the 4 different nucleotides present in RNA, we can form 64 different codons. But all these codons not code for proteins, amino acids, not proteins, amino acids. Only 61 codons code for amino acids. But we have only 20 amino acids. But there are 61 codons. That means many codons code for a single amino acid. So we need more than 20 tRNA molecules for protein synthesis. In prokaryotes, we can see about 30 to 40 different tRNA molecules that can bring each amino acid for protein synthesis. The tRNA molecules which code for the same, which can bring the same amino acid but can read different codons are called isoacceptor tRNA molecules. As there are many codons for a single amino acid, there are many tRNA molecules for recognizing that specific codons. Such tRNA molecules are called isoacceptor tRNA molecules. These molecules will attach to the 3' group of the, see, this is the structure of a tRNA molecule, cloverleaf structure. This is the 3' end of the tRNA. At this site, the amino acid molecules are attached. This attachment is based on the recognition of the codon by the codons present in the anticodon loop of the tRNA molecule. Here is 3 nucleotides. You can see the 3 nucleotides at these regions, and this is called anticodon. This anticodon is complementary to the codon present in the mRNA molecule, and based on this codon anticodon recognition, proper amino acid will be attached to the 3' end of the tRNA molecule. So when there is a stop codon present in the mRNA molecule, there will be no codon in the anticodon loop of the tRNA. So tRNA cannot recognize stop codons present in the mRNA molecule, and that time there will be no attachment of amino acids to the 3' end of the tRNA molecule. Anticodon loop of tRNA is a very essential component. Based on the interaction between the nucleotides present on the anticodon loop and codons in mRNA, proper attachment of amino acids will occur, and that is very necessary for proper composition of a protein molecule. Therefore, we learn about different components required for protein synthesis. First we discussed that amino acids are the building units of proteins. Therefore, amino acids are necessary for protein synthesis. Then we discussed about different RNA molecules. mRNA molecule, which is the component that stores necessary information for protein synthesis. Based on the information present in mRNA, a protein molecule will be produced. The next component is the rRNA. rRNA is the structural component of the ribosomes. In ribosomes, actual protein synthesis will occur. There are three different types of rRNA molecules and they form the structural framework of ribosomes. And next is the tRNA molecule. They function as adapter molecules in protein synthesis. During protein synthesis, they will recognize codons present in mRNA molecule and bind with the appropriate amino acid and provide that amino acid for protein synthesis. Hope you all understand the concept of protein synthesis in prokaryotes, the necessary components required for protein synthesis in prokaryotes. In the next class, we can discuss about the detailed process occur in prokaryotes during protein synthesis or translation. Have a nice day.